Subject DEC30023 Computer Networking Fundamentals. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Izwan bin Muhammad Azmi and my matric numbers is 04 DET19F 1037 and my other group members is Syafiqah binti Muhammad Ghani 04 DET19F 1147. And for today, we have given a test to provide an internet network in a computer lab at your institute. Networking setup and configuration steps. The first step is connect your router. The router is the gateway between the internet and computer lab network, so the lecturer or staff and student can connect the internet connection with one another. Then you have to set it up. And the first step is to physically connect your router to a modem provided by your ISP with an Ethernet cable. Start with A. First, unplug or turn off the cable or DSL modem. B. Power up your wireless router and connect the network cable that most likely comes with it into the port on the router that is labeled Internet or 1. C. Connect the other end to the cable or DSL modem and power up the modem. D. Do not attempt to connect any devices such as laptops or tablets until you have a good strong signal indicating a 1 connection on both the router and modem. The second step is access the router's interface and lock it down. Next step is to getting into the router's interface. This is done by connecting a laptop to the router and then accessing the interface via a browser. After that, connect an internet cable to one of the LAN ports on the router and the other end to the Ethernet port to any computer at computer lab. Start with A. From the left hand window, click Change Adapter Settings. B. Right click on Local Area Connection and select Properties. C. Highlights Internet Protocol version 4 IPv4 and again click Properties. D. Set the first radio button up. Use the following IP addresses and enter the information shown in the image. E. Once you apply the change, open up a browser and go to web address in Cisco or Linkist interface by typing http://192.168.1.1 and using the account name admin and password admin. Then you are all set to configure security and other settings. Step 3. Configure security and IP addresses. After you access the router, the next order of business is getting the security, SSID and IP address settings right. Getting security right is a must, so others cannot stealing bandwidth and the data of computer lab. IP address is important because the address are used for devices on your network to communicate with the router. Start with A. Change the default administrator password. The settings for the admin password are usually under the system tab or page of the interface. B. Change the router default SSID. The SSID is the broadcasted name of your wireless network. Use a unique name for routers to avoid confusion. C. Assign security. Newer routers may be set by default to automatically configure security by using WPS. Then switch from WPS to manual. Once in manual mode, go into router's wireless security page. D. Set up IP addressing. For most network, the router can be kept at its default DHCP setting. This means the routers will dole out IP addresses to clients that connect to the network, leaving you without any IP address management to do. For extra security, it's not a bad idea to change the router default IP, making it more resistant to snooping. E. Disconnect the laptop and reboot it. When the laptops come back from reboot, you should see the SSID name of your wireless network and be able to connect to it with the passphrase you created. For step 4, set up sharing and control. Now that you have a network set up, you can set up a way for everyone to access data on the network. Using a home group make sharing easier. You can share features, music, videos, documents and printers with other people in your home group. Other people cannot change the file that you share unless you give them permission. Steps to create home group. First of all, before creating home group, you need to make sure that your device is running on Internet Protocol version 6. It was TCP or IPv6. B. For checking the same, open Power User menu and then click on the network connection. C. Now right click on the network adapter option available there. Then go to the Properties tab and check the Internet Protocol version sheet if unchecked. D. It's time to create home group on your computer. For creating this, start with Start menu and research for home groups, or you can simply go to Control Panel, Network and Sharing, Home Group. E. After that, you will find an option called Create Home Group. Just click on it. Or if you do not find this option on the window, then there are chances that your computer is connected to some other home group. So first leave that home group, and then you will see the option for creating a new home group. F. It will start up a wizard. You only need to click the next button. G. After you click the next button, it will display a password. That password is the protection password, and the user will need to enter this password to get connected to this home group. So note down the password given by the window and hit enter the finish button. And lastly, set up user accounts. In most business network, users access the network by logging in with the user accounts and password. User accounts provide a way to establish user access control. Perhaps there are some data on the network some users should have access to and some should not. Start with A. First is to access the account setting. You first need to open the setting and click or tap account. B. In the accounts group, the topmost option is your account, which let you, among other things, manage your Microsoft account, change your profile pictures and more. C. Managing your Microsoft account must be done online. You cannot do so locally. D. A Microsoft accounts allow you to sync your settings and basically roam from computer to computer. Your app's profile picture, colors, choice, and more are uploaded to the cloud, so wherever you log into Nets, it appears as you left it on the previous device. E. To actually switch to the local account, you will have to sign out of your Microsoft account, so make sure you save anything you might have been working on before you do that.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Syafiqah binti Muhammad Ghani. My metric number is 04 DET19 F1147. I'm from class DET 4B. Problem solving. This is examples of network connection that can be made in a computer lab. Connection test. Test service and internet connectivity. Test each workstation to make sure they can connect to the internet and test any local servers and printers. Print the test page on a shell printer. Then testing read and write permission on a file server along with copying file to the server and copying file from the server to the workstation. Next, problem solving result. Make sure the wires are installed correctly, the hardware is working properly, and make sure the switch is on. ipconfig. Open a command prompt and type ipconfig without quotes, terminator. Default gateway, last list, is the IP of the router. The computer IP address is the number next to the IP address. Then if the computer's IP address begins with 169, the computer will not receive a valid IP address. If the IA starts with anything other than 169, your computer will be assigned a valid IP address from the router. ipconfig with ping. If the router works well and has an IP address starting with something other than 169, the problem most likely lies between the router and the internet. At the point, try sending a ping to a well-known and large server, such as Google, to see if he can connect with a router. DNS inspection. Use the NS lookup command to determine if there is a problem with the server you are trying to connect to, so they may indicate the problem arose in the DNS server for the purpose. That's all for me. Thank you for watching.